Hello and welcome to the Angus Report, a news program geared toward cattle producers. I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Paige Wallace. From American Angus Association headquarters in St. Joseph, Missouri, we bring you the week's top headlines, including a look at rising land values.
We get some tips for keeping cattle safe in the heat.
Show season is underway. We'll bring you some first place tips.
And important market signals for quality beef.
This is the Angus Report.
Our top story for the week. New figures from the Federal Reserve show farmland values are up about 20% or more in the Great Plains and the Corn Belt in the first quarter. In some pockets of the region, farmland rose 25% in value, marking the first time in history cropland prices climbed more than 20% 2 years in a row. Farmland prices in Iowa are especially high, with one parcel selling for a record $20,000 per acre in December. In Missouri, prices are topping $4,000 per acre, up from $600 25 years ago. Ag economists suggest the boom could eventually slow down, but it's uncertain just when and how rapidly it'll happen.
Particularly here in the Midwest, we see farmland values have risen 20 to 25% in the last year, and it's gone on for about the last 4 years, where we've had tremendous increases in farmland values relative to their historical increase. And for the most part, that's due to the increased corn and soybean prices. Right now, we still have high grain prices, but with this drought, as yields are being cut, there's likely to be portions of the country that are not going to have, for lack of a better word, extra cash to be purchasing or investing in land.
This summer's extreme heat can test your cattle herd. As temperatures rise, it's important to keep your cattle comfortable to maintain performance and health. The strain of maintaining normal body functions in extreme weather temperatures decreases growth rate and your bottom line.
We're in a situation now, or economic scenarios, where we've got pretty expensive animals out there, and again, we need to make sure that they're properly cared for, not just from the standpoint, from the performance standpoint, but also what the consumer wants. One of the things we see, particularly under heat stress, are dark cutters. Basically, the way to minimize that is to try to keep the cattle calm, don't get them stirred up, don't get them excited. The other thing we can do is change the time we feed cattle, particularly feedlot cattle, and feed more of the ration at night or in the evening feeding as opposed to the morning feeding. We want to make sure that we not only just feed and water it, that we also protect it from the environment, so shade or sprinklers or things like that. Just wetting the pen surface down. If it's not already wet part of the pen surface down, that cools that surface. Those pen surfaces can get up to 140, 150 degrees.
Experts say signs of heat stress include reduced movement, faster breathing rates, panting, decreased feed intake, and increased water consumption.
The Angus Foundation is dedicated to education, research, and youth. A large part of the nonprofit organization's youth focus is in the form of scholarships. At next week's National Junior Angus Show, the foundation will award more than $220,000 to young people involved in the breed. Katie Allen shares how they play a role in the future of the cattle business.
Obviously, youth is a big portion of support in the Angus Foundation because we believe that youth are the future of the Angus breed. And so a majority of the dollars that are invested by donors to the Angus Foundation, a majority goes to youth scholarships and supporting these young people in their college endeavors. And whether these Angus youth are planning on going into an agricultural related field in the future, or if they want to become a doctor or lawyer or artist or anything they want to do, they are able to educate consumers about the Angus breed and about growing up on a farming operation to people who have grown away from the operation or do not have that knowledge of growing up on a farm or ranch and what it takes to care for cattle and to produce high quality food for them. This year we have 3 new endowed scholarships, and those 3 new scholarships will be awarded for the first time in 2012. And so if anyone is interested in learning about endowed scholarships and having your name or your farm or ranch name carried on through these scholarships and supporting these youth, they can go onto our website, and that is angusfoundation.org.
The National Junior Angus Show is in Louisville, Kentucky next week. As juniors travel to one of the nation's largest single breed cattle shows, we offer a few show ring tips.
When you enter the show ring, appear calm and professional. Once you enter the show ring, you'll line your animals up side by side and set the animals' feet squarely. Leave about 4 feet between you and the animals on either side of you so you each have your own space to work in. Do not roll, fold, or wrap the lead strap in your hand. The lead strap should be just long enough to control your animal with some strap hanging down, but not interfering with leading the animal. Position the feet of your animal squarely on all 4 corners. Setting your animal up and getting it used to the show stick will require practice at home. Set your front feet first. You can use your own feet to push the feet back or as a guide when pulling the feet forward with your show stick. Next, use your show stick to set your back feet. To set a foot back, use the hook to push back on the front of the hoof. To move a back leg forward, pull forward just below the dew claw. Don't set the animal's back legs too close together. Set them apart so the animal looks more wide and square from behind. Once your animal is set up, stand at a position where it can be viewed by the judge while you can maintain control.
When the Angus Report returns, we'll discuss ongoing market signals for quality beef.
Plus, we look at the Angus breed down under.
Visit angus.org to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.